Hi, and welcome to the Maybe I Can podcast. I'm your host, Debbie Weiss, and I'm so glad that you're joining me here today. So, I want to share with you something that is going on in my life. I think it goes on in all of our lives, and we don't realize what it's doing to us. And I'm talking about having our brains be so full of information that it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you're there? I think that's a pretty rhetorical question because how many times of day do I do it? Yesterday, I was doing a ShopRite, my supermarket online order, and I'm like reviewing the cart. And I think to myself, oh, I have to add blah, blah, blah. I just finished going through the list, the cart, thinking, did I forget anything else? And I get to the bottom of the list, and I'm talking like this could be 30 seconds later. I could not remember what I needed to add. It was crazy. I was panicking, to tell you the truth. And I don't know about you. Do you ever lay in bed and you're thinking, oh, tomorrow I need to pick up my prescriptions or make a doctor's appointment or call a plumber or pay a bill, call my mother, whatever it is. Like sometimes I think my brain just becomes this one big storage unit. And I'm sure that I personally am feeling this way because, as you know, if you're a listener, I have been a widow now for 3.5 years, and my husband really handled all the maintenance type things in the house. I was always the money person, so I think I was lucky in that regard. That's not an area that I had to learn. That was something that I already did. And I know a lot of times that's hard for a widow. But for me, I live in a pretty big house and it's 27 years old and it just seems like everything is going wrong. And some things I don't even know what to do or who to call. And it is so overwhelming. I wind up thinking about, and this is a little tangential, is that how you say it? Again, if you're a listener, you know that my income, my from being an insurance agent is changing and being greatly reduced. So I'm thinking about selling my house to lower my expenses. One of the things that I did when I talked to my realtor is she suggested that I hire a home inspector just to come in and give me an idea of the things that buyers would be asking to be fixed. Unfortunately, I got a laundry list and one big thing, which is cracks in my foundation. I need a structural engineer and I need to get some landscaping thing fixed with the gutters. I don't even know. And a whole other laundry list of stuff, little stuff, but stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I have to deal with all this. And it's a lot of things to remember. 4th of July, the week of 4th of July, when we had this crazy heat wave here, when it felt like 110 on some days, my air conditioner broke. Ugh, I knew it broke and I'm not questioning it. And I used a company that I'm comfortable with. But when they say to me, oh, you could either replace it with this or this, it's like, do you think I have any idea what you're telling me? Or they make it simple, but I don't know if that's true or there's any other questions that I can ask. And then I think to myself, is there something else in my house that needs servicing that I'm not taking care of? And how often am I supposed to do it? And all these things are running around in my head. And I don't know about you, I have tried to organize it. I actually came up with a daily sheet of what I needed to do, tasks that I needed to do, and steps that I needed to take to accomplish my goals, whether that was business or personal goals. And I used it for a long time. As a matter of fact, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking my binder is sitting over there with the pages. I think when I went on vacation, I stopped the whole thing. And I know that's the way to go, except like here, I have this list on a piece of paper. I have another list over here in this book, and I'm not taking these with me, right? And then I leave this place and I go to work and I'm thinking, oh gosh, what was I supposed to remember? I wrote that down. I put it on a piece of paper. I can't remember where I had, what I did with it. And then sometimes I'll send myself an email from one place to the other, right? I have a lot of different email addresses. So I might send it from my personal email to my insurance email or to my Debbie R. Weiss email as a reminder. And I think that I'm helping myself, but I feel so scattered, so scattered. I'll have a feeling I'm not the only one. And if you're one of those people that is very organized and you're happy with your system, I would love for you to message me on Instagram, DM me at debbie.r.weiss, or send me an email at debbie@debbierweiss.com, because I would love to hear what works for you. Today, I want to talk about what this invisible mental load is doing. When we try to remember all of this stuff, doctor appointments, getting your hair done or your nails, someone's birthdays, when you have to refill a prescription, when you're supposed to change the filter on something, when you're supposed to pay for something or make a vet appointment or warranty information, life is complicated. And I really see just how much we know and we take care of, because as my sons are getting older, I see that there's so many things that they question or don't know that I just do naturally. One of them is even getting my car serviced. My son, my younger one, oh my goodness, where should I go? What should I do? When should I do it? It's like that's the big to-do list on his mind, is getting his car serviced. Our brains were designed to solve problems, not use it as a long-term storage device. And every unfinished reminder that's in our head, it competes for our attention in other areas, and that is exhausting. Think about it. What are you carrying around in your head right now that actually doesn't belong there? I'm sure it's a lot of things, just like me. I think that besides the fact that I'm a widower, or is that the right word? No, I guess that's a man. I guess a widow. Many women are just typically the person who remembers everything and runs everyone's lives, the whole family, right? You're the person who remembers birthdays and has to buy the presents. And oh my gosh, when I think about Christmas time, that's when, really overload. Plus, Ben, my youngest, his birthday is December 31st. So December is a tough time. And I remember back when the kids were little, we would travel to my friend's parents' house. We spent Christmas with them. And I would have to buy all the gifts for the kids and everyone else, have them wrapped, and then hide them in the back of our car. This is when they were really little, and throw blankets or whatever over so they didn't see. And my husband didn't do anything. All of December, along with all of the other responsibilities that I had, this came along, and it was a lot. Women are usually the one, we have to worry about filling out the school forms or family schedules or doctor's appointments, haircuts, all the things. So I don't think it is necessarily has to do with being a widow. I think as women, this is what we do, right? And sometimes we think we're bad in organization, which is kind of where I am right now. It's just too much. So the goal isn't a better memory, although, it is. And I do think that freeing our brain will help our memory. I just think that the goal isn't becoming more organized. It's figuring out just how to create more space. So I am working in real time, creating one trusted place for all the information instead of having phone reminders, sticky notes, notebook, scrap pieces of paper. I'm trying to simplify it just because I want to get them out of my brain. It has to leave because I'm not functioning well. So, look, there are so many different systems available, and I've tried a few of them, and it seems like I start doing it and then I fall off. And as a matter of fact, the thing that I just decided to do, I'm going to use Google Tasks. I went on it, I didn't have it downloaded, and I went on it, and there actually were lists from 2023, a few different things. And I'm thinking, oh, I guess I have tried this before, and I probably ditched it. I think the big thing is having one central place to house all these things. So, what I'm going to try and do is, since I use Google Drive and I use Google for email, and I have a Google Calendar, but my calendar situation is a little confusing. So, I have 3 different calendars and I need to merge them all. That's my problem, right? If I have everything in Google Calendar, in the calendar, I can set a recurring thing instead of having to remember every year. So I could set a recurring thing to do, maintenance on my furnace in the fall and my air conditioning in the spring. Or I don't know, if you pay your insurance twice a year, it's a reminder about that twice a year that it's coming up. Put it on the calendar. You can set it up as a recurring event. And that way, it's all in there and it'll pop up. Then I would say, like I said, I'm starting to build some different lists in Google Tasks. So I built what I have to do this week, and you can put a due date on it. What I'm waiting for. So, waiting for people to get back to me on something. I'm waiting actually for the landscaper to give me a quote, for the structural engineer to make an appointment, that kind of thing. And then this is what I put on my list for this week. Oh, I'm waiting to hear back from my friend who cuts my hair. And this week, I need to bring my own car into Honda. I need to purchase button-down shirts because I'm having surgery. When you hear this, thankfully, my surgery will be over and I'll be in recovery. But I won't be able to put shirts on over my head, and I really have no button-down shirts, so I need to do that. And I also need to create a list of questions for the surgeon because things keep popping up in my head. Now, a little less than 2 weeks to go for the surgery. And so this is the time, where my head is on overload. It's also the time where I am trying to clean up a lot of tasks before the surgery. And, maybe hopefully it's not surgery for you, or it's something else like before vacation, right? You want to make sure that everything's in order so that you don't have these kind of things to worry about on your mind. And I like the idea of using this because, let's face it, my phone is always with me. It's always with me. The pieces of paper, they're not. So, I don't know. That's what I'm going to do. I think I use Google Calendar for those things, like I said, that come around once or twice a year. And I can use Google Tasks and set due dates and look into Google Tasks on a regular basis. That is going to take some reminding. I think I will have freed up some space in my mind. As a matter of fact, I feel like I already feel better since I started adding things to Google Tasks. It really has freed up my mind. Just those few little things. Yeah, I have other things of people I'm waiting for. I made a list of later, like things I don't have to worry about now, but I will later. I'm also thinking of maybe organizing it a little bit differently as to having it broken down into categories, like what I need to do for home maintenance, what I need to do for my car, what I need to do in my personal life, in my business life, that kind of thing. But Organization, it isn't really about being neat, even though that can be definitely a byproduct. It's really about reducing your stress. Like I said, I felt my stress come down just putting these tasks somewhere. It's like, oh, I can let that go. I can free that little space in my mind because I don't have to remember. Google Tasks is remembering for me, or whatever system that you choose. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Remember? Sprinkles. Don't try and organize your whole life at one time, at one sitting, or in one week. I'm going to challenge you this week to pick one category. Maybe it's your finances, your medical information, home maintenance, that kind of thing, and spend 20 minutes getting that one area into one place. Whatever that is, whatever system you decide to use. Think to yourself, what can I take out of my head and put into that system instead? Maybe you're listening today and thinking, my brain feels exactly like that, which you're not alone. And isn't that a nice feeling? But we got to figure out together how we do it, because I'm still trying to figure out. And just because I've come up with some systems before that don't seem to continue, that's okay. Obviously, I tried Google Tasks before, but 3 years later, I think Google is more a part of my daily life than it was at that time. So we'll see. I've realized that this feeling of peace or calmness, it doesn't come from remembering everything. It comes from trusting that you don't have to. There are so many tools out there nowadays to help us. But yet we still, or I say I still walk around just trying to keep it in my head. Why? I've got enough to carry. And I'm sure that you do too. And learning to finally put these things down and out of our brains will absolutely change our lives. Okay, that's it. That's what I got for you for today. So like I said, message me, DM me. Please, I'd love to hear what's working for you, because I'm open to any suggestions. And something that I always forget to mention, I don't know why, but I do, is that anytime, go check out my website, DebbieRWeiss.com. And there I'm going to read them to you. I have 4 different free resources that you can download. The first one is Types of Self-Care for Caregivers. By the way, you don't need to be a caregiver to download that. Everybody needs self-care. The 5-Minute Caregiver Reset also, I think, applies to anyone. The Kickstart Change Workbook and the Small Shift Starter Guide. So go check them out. All you have to do is put in your first name and your email address, and it'll show up in your inbox for free. So check it out at DebbieRWeiss.com. Okay, make it a great week, and I'll see you again next week.